I am Paul, an apostle of Christ, one of Christianity's greatest preachers, and the author of the 14 epistles of the New Testament. Before I converted to Christianity, I was known as Saul and persecuted the disciples of Jesus in Jerusalem. I was born in Tarsus, Cilícia, the region of present-day Turkey, in the year 5. I was a prosperous merchant and intellectual in the Roman world. Son of a Jewish family from the tribe of Benjamim, who enjoyed the privileges of the Roman city, my birth name was Saul from Hebrew, which was later changed to Paul, from Latin, after my conversion and baptism. I spent my early years in the Jewish community and attended synagogue school. An ancient Jewish custom is to teach children useful work. I became a weaver. As a teenager, I was sent to Jerusalem, where I became more deeply acquainted with the Hebrew religion and culture. In Jerusalem, I studied in Solomon's temple, rebuilt and decorated by Herod Agrippa. Like my father, I was a member of the Orthodox Pharisee sect and was educated for 5 years as a disciple of the influential and famous Rabbi Laban Gamaliel. I studied the oral law, a set of traditions that regulate all the activities of daily life. I was preparing myself to become a rabbi of the most orthodox denominations of Judaism. After finishing my studies, I returned to Tarsus to work with my father in the synagogue, also making tents. At that time, there were more than 5,000 disciples of Jesus. Most Jews, including myself, still did not believe that he was the Messiah. As a devout follower of Jewish origin, I began to persecute the first Christian communities. At that time, great events occurred in Christianity. John the Baptist was martyred in the year 27, Jesus was crucified at the age of 33, and Stephen, a member of the Christian community, was stoned to death in the year 34. On the way to Damascus, I had visions of glowing lights and heard Jesus' voice questioning me about the persecution. I was instantly blinded, and for 3 days I was absorbed in prayer. At Jesus' request, Ananias came to meet me, prepared me for baptism, and laid his hands on my head while I regained my sight. Impressed by what had happened, I was baptized with the name Paul and converted to Christianity. To rebuild my mind, I retired to the Arabian desert where I preached. 3 years after my conversion, I visited Jerusalem where I met the apostles Peter and James. Since then, I have undertaken 3 missionary expeditions to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, as recorded in the book of Acts. During my first missionary expedition, I went to Salamine, Antioch of Pisidia, Lystra, and Derbe. In 48, I took part in the Jerusalem Council when I opposed the Jewish Christians and even Peter himself, who wanted to impose circumcision and the observance of the Jewish law on the Gentile converts. At that time, Claudius expelled the Jews from Rome. During my second missionary journey, between the years 49 and 53, I expanded Christianity and established churches in Syria, Cilicia, Cyprus, Macedonia, and Athens, and settled in Corinth. In 18 months, I built a Christian community of people from the lower ranks of the population. In 54, I made my third missionary journey. I went to Ephesus, then to Corinth, and then to Macedonia. When I returned to Jerusalem in 58, I was collecting money for the poor when I was arrested and tried by Caesar's court. I claimed to be a Roman citizen and was taken to Rome, but a shipwreck in Malta interrupted the trip. After I arrived in Rome, I lived a life of relative freedom. I wrote my epistles between the years 50 and 62, of which 14 have survived: Romans, 1 and 2 Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Roscian Song of Songs, 1 and 2 Thessalonians, Timothy, Titus, Philemon, and Hebrews. In my letters, I discuss doctrine, Christian ethics, and church organization. In the year 64, a great fire broke out in Rome, and I was arrested again, and in the year 67 I was beheaded on the outskirts of Rome. Thank you for watching this video. Leave your like and subscribe to the Living Hope channel on YouTube. Activate notifications by clicking on the bell to receive other publications.